Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at Warhammer Day reveals for the 35th year anniversary of Warhammer 40,000. Called Cadian Stands, this army launch set is the start of a huge overhaul for the Astra Militarum range, bringing new and highly detailed kits to the battlefields of Warhammer 40k. So we have a new Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard army box set. Let's take a look at the new stuff. The box contains 20 Cadian shock troopers, a command squad, a field ordnance battery, a sentinel, plus a spoilerific codex that we can't show quite yet. But these are far from the only miniatures coming for the Astra Militarum. So we scroll down here a little bit. We see a couple of infantry squads, some extra heavy special weapons teams, a sentinel. This is the armored variant, and then we see a command squad as well. Interesting that there's not like a dedicated single model HQ unit to lead this. Obviously, the command squad has like, sort of a sub character in it. But, compared to say like the Votann box, which just came out, you had 10 and 10 infantry in both. And then you had 2 characters in the Votann box and then 3 bikes. As we're here, you have 2 of the heavy weapons platforms, a vehicle or sentinel, and instead of like 2 HQs, you have the Sentinel basically and then you have the command squad as your characters basically. So interesting setup. I feel like you get a lot more value out of these box sets when they're not packed tight with characters. A squad of Cadian shock troops packs in more special weapons than a standard infantry squad, leaving the heavy weapons team behind for greater mobility. So we see here we have a flamer and a lasgun. Then we have a meltagun and a lasgun. So he's like throwing a grenade, pretty cool. A couple more lasguns just kind of running forward. Here is a sergeant. And then we have a plasma and a comms or vox. Yeah, so 10 right there. Look pretty good. I mean, the overall aesthetic of these models looks fantastic. They look much, much better than the old Cadian troops, obviously. Much more, mobile. Way more detail. Cadian command squads ring more for your infantry too, issuing orders and rallying nearby guardsmen when the going gets a little too tough. So here we see like, super fancy Vox setup here. Very cool. And then we see the leader of the command squad, some sort of lesser officer. Then we have just is this a medic right here? It looks like based on the bag right there. Here we have some kind of like veteran with a power fist. Reminds you of the old classic look. Very cool. And then, of course, we have the standard bearer as well. So, nice looking models here. Really, really nice. In addition to tripod-mounted heavy weapons, Astra Militarum regiments have begun wheeling larger artillery pieces into the front lines. Equipped with large bore cannons, multi-missile launchers, or heavy overcharged las cannons, field ordnance batteries are the most powerful man-portable assets available. Very cool. These look great. This is awesome. Got, really nice looking stuff right here. Very cool. So obviously your normal special weapon team is like 2 guys on a smaller base with a little more mobile heavy weapon. And then these are a little bigger heavy weapons. And you got 3 little troopers on each base. Absolutely love these things. They look great. Man, these models look awesome. We've already seen the armored variant of the Sentinel revealed alongside the new Lord Castellan of Cadia, Ursula Creed, but the kit also makes a classic Scout Sentinel complete with open canopy and chainsaw attachment. So it looks like you can build either the Scout Sentinel or the regular Sentinel. So we see the 2 variants here. This is more detailed pictures of the Scout Sentinel. Here's like the little chain sword right here, and then obviously it is mounted with the las cannon here, auto cannon here, and then like they said, it has the open canopy, as opposed to here we have like the closed cockpit. This one just shows the heavy plasma and then a searchlight. And a 100-kilo missile on the side right there. I like the little gear sacks and everything. Really nice looking model right here. Much better than the old Sentinel and way better than the OG Sentinel. If you've ever seen that one. Yikes. In addition to the miniatures contained in the Army launch set, 2 more classic units are getting a well-earned update. Fresh troops need a new commissar to watch over them, and this stern individual will make sure that the Cadians become the best soldiers they can be or die trying. A really nice looking commissar model right here Interested to see if they have like a little head swap. I'm assuming there'll be some different weapons. I do like the pose. Not very dynamic, but pretty neat overall. Whether on their own or as part of an infantry squad, heavy weapons teams are responsible for taking down the big beasts that lasguns won't scratch. All the classic weapons are back, from the heavy bolters to the las cannons, and each base contains a massive amount of options to make them stand out, with spotters, loaders, sergeants, and more, allowing each team to look like its own mini diorama. Alright, so here we have the actual like regular heavy weapons teams getting redone here as well. Mortar, pretty cool overall. And then we see the autocannon. I like how there's like extra ammo feeds and spotters and all that good stuff. Missile launcher here as well. And then we see the heavy bolter. Again, super cool. Little attention to detail. It's got like the little pistol out. Very, very cool. And then we see the las cannon as well. Really nice looking sets right here. This is all really nice. So keep in mind though, these heavy weapons teams, the smaller ones that we're seeing here, and the commissar are not part of this box set. Every Astra Militarum player can include these new Cadian models in their army, as the new Codex returns to the old days of mixing and matching regiments, which means fielding squads of shock troops alongside the death course of Kree, Cadian jungle fighters, and more. Instead of trying your troops to a specific world, you create a regimental doctrine that fits your preferred playstyle by combining two doctrine rules. Some of these are themed after iconic regiments, but you're free to pick and combine whichever you like the most. So it sounds like basically you're creating your own chapter type rules, etc. For example, do you love ranks of infantry standing firm and firing disciplined volleys in the face of mounting casualties? Choose the Cult of Sacrifice and Parade Drill doctrines to add a touch of diehard Death Corps determination to the Mordian Iron Guard discipline. Alright, so here are two of the random ones. Cult of Sacrifice. Units with this doctrine gain the Cult of Sacrifice keyword each time a model with this doctrine makes an attack. If the model's unit was below its starting strength when it was selected to shoot or fight, add 1 to that attack's hit roll. So +1 to hit if one or more models has been removed from the squad. Pretty cool. And then Parade Drill. If the unit with this doctrine remains stationary in your movement phase, then until the end of your shooting phase, change the type characteristic of lasguns and hotshot lasgun models in this unit are equipped to heavy 2. So with this random combination that they have picked, you would be +1 to hit in shooting and combat if you've already had one or more casualties in that unit. And then also your lasguns would become heavy 2 if you don't move. So pretty cool overall. Neat little combo. I'm sure it's not the best or most optimal, but you can win the Astra Militarum launch set plus everything else revealed during today's Warhammer Preview Live by logging into your My Warhammer account, signing up below to our newsletter competition before 11:59 p.m. BST on Monday the 10th of October. One lucky person will randomly drawn on Tuesday the 11th of October and get the whole lot. So if you do want to sign up, there's a link in the article. So that looks like that's it overall for the Astra Militarum here. So we did see that Creed model also. We see the new heavy weapons squads. We see a new commissar as well. All right, so here we have the items in the army box set. So here we have the Sentinel. So you can build either the Scout Sentinel or the Standard Sentinel. Very, very cool. Both look really good. And then we have also the heavy weapons. These are like the super heavy weapons. And it looks like you're able to build 2 of these 3 options right here. You could probably build 2 of the same, I'm assuming, as well. And then we see also our standard, the Cadian command squad here, your 5 men. And there's a bunch of different options to build these as well. I say men, but I'm sure there's some female options as well. And then here we see our regular Cadian squads, 10 per. And we're going to get 2 of these. So very, very cool. Nice looking models. And then here is everything in that new box set. So a total of 20 infantry, the 5 command squad, and then 1 vehicle and 2 heavy supports. So nice box set right here. So what is it? 28 total models, including, you could call these artillery pieces and that a vehicle, or, all 3 are kind of vehicles, I guess. Depends how you look at it, really. But really nice box set. It looks like a nice composition. It will have the new Codex, the data cards, I'm sure, as well. And it should be priced right around that $200 mark. So really nice. And then I'm sure a bunch of this will be making its way into a new box for Cadians or for Imperial Guard for, like the equivalents of a start collecting box. Or in this case, I guess it is a combat patrol. But I suspect that a lot of these units will make their way into the combat patrol box, or maybe it'll just be a thinned down version of what's here. But very, very nice. I'm sure the Astra Militarum players Imperial Guardsmen out there are super, super excited for all this. This is a really nice looking box right here. I love the way all the models look and looking forward to seeing how they play as well. Now, hopefully, Games Workshop limits shops on how many they can pick up here, because there was definitely a lot of shops that just picked up a ton of the Wotan boxes, and then Games Workshop didn't have any to sell for the people that were looking to buy directly from them. Is this necessarily a problem? We've talked about it in the past. I would rather see independent retailers be the middleman and then sell things at a discount, and then also the retailers make some money, you know, supporting like actual game stores over just the big corporation Games Workshop. They're going to make their money either way. They make a lot more money if they sell directly to consumers, but you know, they still make plenty when they sell to a shop or online store, and then the shop or online store makes some money, and then the final customer typically gets a discount. So while it's not ideal for the people that want to order directly from Games Workshop, in the end, it typically ends up being better for the customer. So I'm okay with that, I guess. But not a big fan of the whole FOMO sets and the limited boxes and them selling out super quick. In my opinion, for a game like Warhammer 40k or Fantasy or just any Games Workshop products, really, if something is selling out like immediately, you probably didn't make enough of them. Because the goal is obviously for a company to sell as much of a product as they can. Games Workshop does not like storing any products at all. So anything they manufacture, they immediately want someone else to store that. They want to get paid for it and then someone else to be holding it. So they don't have to worry about any damage, any storage costs, or, you know, selling it into the future. So that being said, their goal is to sell everything they produce immediately. That doesn't necessarily line up with the goals of people that want to like play the game or collect, etc., as it creates basically like FOMO type situations where you buy something you might not have otherwise bought on the spot because you know it's going to cost more in the future or you won't be able to get it. That is not cool sales tactics and typically doesn't work over time, but Games Workshop has mastered it as much as anyone can. So I would expect to continue seeing limited run products and expect to continue seeing them sell out as long as Games Workshop is practicing these same techniques. So let me know what you think. Did you have any trouble getting the Wotan box? You think you're going to have any trouble getting this one? Are you going to go straight through Games Workshop? Are you going to go through a FLG or online store, etc.? Always curious to hear how and why people take certain directions or certain routes, and then obviously what people are interested in. So if you do enjoy these daily videos, reactions, reviews, and news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, warcry, and some Horus Heresy as well, make sure to like and subscribe for that daily content. It's absolutely free and really helps out the channel. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.